up, wake up. Get up out your bed. Check out for lunch. What's up, y'all? It's BeatsbyLonza in the building. It's your drum machine specialist. And today I got a special guest in the building. He goes by Khalif Wins.
You better know it.
Give him a round of applause again. So if you needed anything in your repertoire for social media, this is the man you need to see to get you started in social media. So check it out. Today, man, we got a special. It ain't even a show. We just going live just to kick it and talk about the S2400. And as a producer, why you should have the S2400. Now, this is not an ad to sell you the S2400, but this is an ad to sell you the S2400. You should have an S2400 in your arsenal if you are a producer. And this is one of the reasons why you should have it in your arsenal, right? You should want to be well versed in your drum machines that you have in your studio. And this right here, this S2400 by ISLA Instruments, is the thing that you need. The reason that you need it is a legend reborn. If you even go to their website, they tell you the back history on this machine, or why they built it and where it came from and why it is that it is the machine that it is today. Now, first, before we get into the S2400, I want to say that today, whenever we go on this live stream and we get to going into the beats, there's going to be a couple of drum kits that I borrowed some sounds from. The first one is going to be from this great engineer producer by the name of Son Civil. He has a channel called Civil Days Music.
For sure.
He has a kit called the Bon Appetit and the Gorilla Drum Kit, which you can get on his page. So if you go to Civil Days Music, you can check out some of the drum kits he got. So we're gonna preview some of those drum kits on this channel today. And what were you saying, Khalif?
I was saying there's a company that I work with, or that actually reached out to me. They're called Pro Packs or something like that. They got great kits as well. But I'll be honest with you, I am dying to learn about this S2400 and how it adds to the MPC workflow. You got to convince me. This is the stream that you're going to convince me as to why this is a great product.
I'm going to convince you, and I'm going to convince everybody that this is a great product. First of all, let me start out with a couple of key indicators that will tell you that why this is a good machine. Okay, so if you're watching this stream and you know about the S2400 and you know about the SP1200, which is the original, you know that this machine is at a price point where you can afford it. It's affordable. So right now at $17.99 you can get the S2400 versus going back to the OG that is a remanufactured one that you can get for $39.99. So $4,000 versus a little bit under $2,000. So you're getting a little bit of a bang for your buck. Now, second thing I'll tell you about the S2400 is that S2400 is up to today's standards. And what I mean by that is that instead of you going hunking around with a freaking 1985 hard drive or freaking floppy disk or zip drive, now you're up to standards to today's equipment where you can get into your computer. So let's say, for instance, you have a USB-C that you can plug into your computer. Now you can go into the S2400 and go directly into your computer and find all your samples that's on your computer that resonates there, and also to any external hard drive that you have through the USB MSC mode, which is on the S2400. So we'll go into that when we actually go over to the machine and look at the machine. So hard drive space, don't have to worry about hard drive space and being limited because S2400 is able to allow you to use whatever you want to use. So SD card, you got a 1 terabyte SD card and it's full of sounds. You can pull sounds from the SD card as well as the hard drive as well as whatever else is on your machine. So what does that mean when it says a legend reborn? Right? When you think about a legend being reborn, that means that someone took something that was original and then they remanufacture it to the same standards that the original was, but they made it better. So being that it's reborn, you don't have to worry about whether you have the sound from the SP1200. The sound is right there because it's using some of the same converters and even better converters that was used in the original SP1200. So you have all of that stored inside the new machine. So you're recreating a sound that was iconic from the 80s, bringing it into the 2020s, and now you're making it even better. So that's what it's all about. Taking something, recreating it, making it even better. That's what hip hop was founded on. You took something that was fly, like some jazz music, you took some music that was on some records, you flipped the samples, and then you made it into something brand new. So that's what's happening with the S2400, is that they made something that was fly, they made it even flyer. So you should check that out. Now, some specifics about it. I don't get into the 12 bits and 24 bits and 26 bits and all that, but it is probably nice for you to know that this machine has a 16-bit sampling engine that is in hi-fi, and then they have a 12-bit classic engine that is also in this machine, that you can go up to 21.5 minutes in the classic, and you can go to 21.5 minutes in the hi-fi, and then you can go 5.5 minutes in the classic. That's sampling time. Versus on the SP1200, you only get 20 seconds. They moved from 10 seconds to 20 seconds. So if you're looking at bang for your buck, S2400 is winning this race so far. Now, the second thing I'll say that they introduced into this machine is the USB audio exporting function. So now you're able to not only bring in information from your computer to your S2400, you're able to bring information out of your S2400 back into your computer. So now if you're working in any specific DAW, now you can work side by side with whatever DAW of your choice that you use. So that is awesome for you guys who are hybrid producers who like to work in your computers and like to take the sound out of your machine and flip it. It is easier to do that now. Now you still have the option of the 8 outs that's in the back of the machine to send the sound out, the audio out of the S2400 to your computer or to your mixer that way, and do that. You still have that option in that flow. They didn't take away. That's a good thing about this machine. They didn't take away anything. They just added to. So round of applause to Brad at Isla Instruments for adding to. You don't never want to take away, but you always want to add to. What's up?
Listen, there's a whole bunch of beat machines out there, and I hear what you're saying. $2,400 versus paying $4,000 for a Rostam 1200 is a great discount. Why should somebody get the SP2400 over the Rostam? And before you answer that question, are we gonna see some workflow? Because I see the beat machine there, and I'm starving.
Yes, we're gonna go over my workflow. Now, this workflow you see in this video is not gonna be what everybody uses. This is how I learned to use it my way, and this is gonna be how easy it is when you are using the machine. Now, it's probably easy to me because I've been on it, but I'll tell you this: when this machine came off the UPS truck and it got delivered to my house in its box, I took this machine and plugged it in, put an SD card in it. It was already updated from the shop, and I made the flyest beats that I've ever made on a machine in the first 24 hours. I just spent 5 straight days in here making nothing but beats on the 2400, and it was just that easy to get in here and make the beats. So let me answer some questions in the comment section real quick, and then we'll go into that. It will answer that question as well. Manatee Flip says, "What's good? Here to learn. I hope you get to learn something from this stream. I really do. That's the purpose of it, is to help producers, to kind of give them a different aspect, a different understanding from a different point of view that you may not get from other YouTube channels and producers that are out there in the content creation world."
Click on the comment, bring it up to the screen.
I do not know how to do that.
You just go over the comment and press the plus sign.
Gotcha. What's good? Here to learn. That's cool.
A fire profile pic. I'm not gonna hold you. Brother, that is a hilarious profile pic, Manatee. That's a good profile pic.
That is pretty funny. That's cool. Run a DAW. I don't know what little Johnny talking about, but we're gonna move on. I have been looking at the 1200 versus the S2400.
I don't understand why Dave Rossman didn't expect. Yeah, I don't. Listen, bro, did people understand that this is an inflation and we got bills to pay? No ego is speaking facts. We got bills to pay. Listen, if we're going to pay $4,000, right, for a brand new drum machine, $4,000, and you're going to bring back the SP1200, are you going to, like, I get it. It has SD cards. And again, I love Dave Rossman for re-releasing it. This is not crapping on it. But if somebody says, hey, you have money to invest in a new drum machine that's going to add to your MPC workflow or your sound of your production workflow, you have one S2400, $2,400, I think, and the Rossum, $4,000. Great. Now, what are the comparable features? Sampling time. Rossum, a firmware update, increase the sampling time. Like, again, that's it. So, Ian says something that's interesting too.
Ian says he sold my S2400 recently and bought a maxed out Akai MPC 2000 XL. I had it, regret it, and will buy another 2400 eventually. It sounded amazing and was a joy to use. Also want to get a Rossum SP1200 one day. Man, definitely.
Ian or Lane?
Ian Macmillan.
All right, what's up, Ian? I'll say this. For nostalgic purpose, if I had a loose 4000, but let's be honest, I don't know if y'all rich in the chat. Do y'all got a loose 4,000 in your bank account? Just a loose. I mean, if you got kids, I ain't got no loose 4,000. I got bills. Like, you feel me? I ain't popping like that yet. You understand what I'm saying? I would get the SP1200, the Rossum joint, if I had a loose 4,000. But I ain't got a loose 4,000.
Same. And I want to say before we get through some more of these comments, thank you for joining the live. Thank you for supporting the channel. And if you hadn't done so already, like, comment, subscribe on any video of your choice. I would prefer that you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and comment on the latest video that I got out there on the page. And also check out Khalif Wins at his YouTube channel and his social media. I'll let him tell you right now what his YouTube is, and we'll plug it too. Also at the end of this live, we'll plug it in the video and in the comments.
So listen, what Johnny says, cool thing about the SP1200 was how it would chop up samples. But yeah, Johnny, we got a gang of stuff. Like, I'm an MPC one owner. Thank you, Lonza. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, and even when I had all my MPCs, bro, I just need to chop and not have a headache with older gear. This is an older gear versus new gear conversation, but Soul Scientific, what's the latest update for the 2400? You can answer that. I ain't got one.
That's a good question. I can't tell you off the top of my head what the latest one is, but I want to say it was April of I believe it's April of 2024, but I will verify that before we get off of this live. But the updates, the great thing about this machine, the updates come fairly fast. They listen to the forum, they listen to the people when they say this is a problem that you have. You can go to ISLA Instruments on their website. I believe it's ISLAinstruments.com. Yes, it's ISLAinstruments.com. And you can go to their website and go to the forums, and any bug that you found, you can report any bug that you have found to them directly in the forum. And they actually sometimes they work on the bugs and give you the ways to fix it or whatever you're doing wrong right there on the spot, or in the next update, they throw that freaking fix into the update. So they're really fast, and they're really good at finding any problems or any issues that, and helping you with any issues that you may have on the machine. And I'll tell you that all the issues that I've had on the machine have always been from me. It's user problems. It wasn't from the machine. It was something that I did. I pressed a button that I shouldn't have pressed. I changed something in the settings that I didn't understand. So it was always a user error. So it's never the machine for me. And that is awesome. That now every machine that you'll work on out there, you'll find a bug or issue or problem, but they are really good at fixing those bugs and not letting them linger out in the world forever. So I will get you the last update that they had on the S2400, but there's no need to keep updating when the machine works flawless. There's no need to update anything, because like I said, the updates will be in flaws that people find while they're working in it. So Johnny said DAW, Pro Tools, Cubase, and etc. Yeah, this ain't the live stream for that, but we will eventually get into some of those lives
by clicking on it as well.
Gotcha. Let's see the last one I'll read, and then we'll go on to the rest of the live. It says, I am sold on the S2400 just because of the price point. I can pick up another piece of gear with the money I save.
That's a fact. That is
bars.
Those are bars. I'm not paying $4,000 unless I got it like that.
Check. And like I said, it'll either be a free piece of equipment that somebody give me, it'll be a gift that somebody give me, or I have got everything done that I need to do.
Or if you want to bless my Cash App that's in the screen, you feel what I'm saying, and help me get
that's right.
Arasam, then cool, that'd be beautiful. All right, so let's get to the workflow, man. I want to see this.
All right,
work.
So check it out. So right now I got a beat that I did a little while back that is here. I'll let y'all listen to a little bit of the beat, and then I'll start over with a new project, and then I'll show you my workflow. Now, I'll start off and preface by saying you are able to plug in a turntable into the S2400, and I do not have a turntable plugged into the S2400. However,
just sample. I don't even care.
I have a handy dandy what do you call this thing? Dongle. I have a handy dandy dongle that's plugged into my input in the back of the S2400, and I am gonna sample from a YouTube soul song, and so we'll get the same thing as coming from a record player, except we won't be using record player. So that's what we're gonna do. All right, so check it out. Let me just change my camera angle, and we'll go right to S2400. All right. All right, so this is a beat that I worked on, and I'll give you the verse and the hook real quick, and then we'll go from there.
Yo, I like how gritty it is. Let's get to let me see you take a sample. I need to see it now. Now the sound is so sexy. I need to see something happening with that sample. Jesus
so check it out. You have your 8 freaking pads right here. So these are the size of the same size of MPC. I do have an MPC Touch here. If you look at the pads, they're about the same size of the MPC Touch pads. I mean, they have the feel of the MPC pads as well. The only difference is it has a light it has a light running down, and it has a different color for each sample that you put on the pad. So check it out. I got those are the samples that I have on each pad, and you're able to manipulate. That is the volume, pitch. So y'all all familiar with. So you're all familiar with the process of manipulating the pitch, sound, and the levels and all that stuff. Now, the great thing I like about it is, let's see. Go
back to those keys. Go back to those keys. Go back to those keys. Hey guys, everybody in the chat, do you hear that grittiness? Do you hear the grittiness in that? Like, let's be honest with you. Like, hit them keys one more time. Matter of fact, show me the pitch modulation on just that one key sample.
So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start a new project, right? And I'm going to bring in brand new sounds. Because what I want to show you is being able to layer all the sounds across 8 pads. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to find some type of keyboard or whatever sound, and I'm going to layer it across 8 pads. So check it out. So I'm going to go to my bank A. Now you have A, B, C, D, E, F. You have 5 or 6 banks, and then you have a live looper bank where you can live loop in a sound and it'll loop around, and you can do that too, which is pretty cool. But what we're gonna do specifically is loading sound. So it's easy. It's like a computer. So it has a file button at the top. So file. Then I'm gonna go to load sounds. And I'm gonna load sounds from my SD card, and you will hear all the sounds that I have on my SD card on my sound library. So what I do is pretty much, I took a SD card, I went on my computer, I found all the kits that I wanted to bring over to the SD card, loaded them all to the SD card, and now they reside right here on the S2400. Alright, so let's see. It has an automatic preview, so as I browse through the sounds, you'll hear the preview of the sound, and then I'll show you how easy it is to add. So you press you press
snare is ridiculous.
you press on the pad and tell it yes.
Oh my God, that stares like a pimp backslap. Jesus. All right, before you move further, do me a favor, click the comment out the screen, because the comment is still in the screen.
All right.
Big shout out to Manatee, though. We love that comment. All right, go ahead. You good?
All right, cool. All right, so I'm gonna go through. Yes. Yes.
Oh my God. Johnny says, "What's your favorite drum kit?" Well, there's a company I work with called propacks.bandcamp.com. They have some great drums, boom bap drums and everything. That's my favorite drum kit. propacks.bandcamp.com. That's a good company I work with. Manatee S2400 can host VST plugins. Wow. That sound hard. I was almost when I
see. All right, so I got. I don't have a kick, so let me get a kick real quick, and then I'll be done. Browse files.
Soul Scientific said, I just bought the third-party VST effects chip, waiting on it to ship. So they had a third-party VST effects chip for the
yes.
S2400.
Yes, they also they have the DSP filter cards. The S2400 is expandable. They also have a Caladan synthesizer that is coming out. Should be arriving at my house in the next 2 months, hopefully. It is in production and it is ready. It is ready to be out to the masses. I've already pre-ordered. So the Caladan synthesizer, which is going to be about half the size of the 2400, and I'm gonna have to put it somewhere here in the studio. All right, so let me find a kick real quick. Like beat. We'll go with that one. Alright, so I am going to do my pad length. I'm going to make my pad length 8 bars. And then I'm going to, you can tap tempo as well. I don't know what my tempo is going to be, but I'm going to guess that my tempo is going to be around 88. So I'm going to leave the tempo as 88. Alright. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that sample. Just like that. And all I didn't do nothing special other than take the freaking sample and spread it across 8 pads in a loop slice. And you have the option, which sometimes you can do, you have the option to edit each particular sample. So you don't have to just stick with whatever it chops in its own transients. You can go to because you have a screen here. I don't know if you can see it, but you have an itty bitty screen and you're able to so you're able to chop and edit and manipulate just like in an MPC or any other sampler that's out there. You're able to edit the freaking sample and move the chops along the way you want it to be moved.
Yeah, I was wondering. I dropped off.
Oh, yeah. But were you able to hear it though?
Oh, I heard the beat. The beat is fire. I'm actually on the ISLA Instruments site right now, looking up that and looking up the new Caladan software. You know, you can share your screen and go to the ISLA site. And,
that's what I'm about to do right now.
You sold me once I heard when I can see, yes, my money gone. That was the sample telling me because I'm sold. Like, I'll be honest with you, and after you look it up on the website and share the screen, I want you to tell us how you add it to your MPC workflow, because sound wise, is sexy as hell. I'm sorry. Everybody in the chat, this is sexy as hell. I should have got this. I should have added this to my MPC key. MPC, listen, I need that Caladan. Do me a favor. I was just listening. Scroll down on the Caladan and click it and scroll down to the sound examples on the Caladan. Now, again, we do not work for ISLA Instruments, but I want to work for ISLA Instruments after hearing this Caladan and this S2400. Click play on that. That's ridiculous.
So I'm just going to run through some of the presets that are currently installed on the Caladan. Bear in mind that none of the user interface is currently coded. We've just got the MIDI controller hooked up, this beautiful old Oberheim XK. I'm just going to fly through some of the presets and show that it's playable, which we're really excited about. Take it away, Tony.
Oh my God. I'm sold, ISLA Instruments. I'm sold. I can have a VST. It ain't nothing like external.
That was not very nice.
Now this should excite producers and real musicians. And if you make music for video games, oh my God.
Keep game. That's fire. Keep game. I just added to my cart. Close out that window right quick. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna say this right now. A Rawsome SP1200 is $4,000, right? Not including tax, right? So I'm gonna share my screen, add in the S2400, that new synthesizer ISLA got out, as well as a hard case. Look at this. Do you see my cart? Look at my checkout. You see my screen? Look. For the same price. Oh, you don't see it?
I don't see your screen.
Oh, why is it not sharing the screen?
Let's see if it's going to tell me to allow you to share your screen. I don't see it anywhere.
Yeah, it says stop screen share.
Oh, hold on. Do that again.
All right, let me do it. Boom. Share screens.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, I see it.
Everybody, look at that checkout. I'm going to make my screen bigger. Look at this. You see this? $4,056, right? You can get the Caladan synthesizer with 4 synthesizer cards, the aluminum sides of the S2400, the effects card for the S2400, a hard shell case for the S2400, and get an S2400. All of that is the price of one Rawsome SP1200. I'm sorry. The phrase more bang for your buck. More bang for your buck. Now here's the thing. We don't work for ISLA Instruments, but I'm going to tell you now, ISLA, if you watch this, we would love to be content supervisors who create content for your brand. Look at the steel. Instead of buying all these other expensive instruments, you can get a VST in a box. That sounds analog, crispy, like Lonza said, for video games, for different things. And then you get the S2400, then you can get the effects, and you get the hard shell case. I'm like, fam, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Fam, like, I'm not paying $4,000 for one drum machine, but if I can get $4,000 to get an S2400 that kicks your speakers in with fire beats and great sounds, and then a Caladan synthesizer, and marry them together in holy beat matrimony, you heard what I'm saying?
Right.
And yo, it's not as what Johnny says. I thought 4K for a MIDI keyboard. I hope you ain't buy it. That's crazy. Mont Dog says, yeah, but the SP1200 is uniquely classic. But again, uniquely classic sound that you can get for thousands of dollars cheaper on the S2400.
And you're not missing out on anything, because it is. If you didn't understand what I said earlier, maybe you just got here in the live, is that the S2400 is exact replica, a Legend redesigned. It is redesigned from the original hardware that was on the old one. It just has up-to-date brand new specs. So all that sound that you would have got out of the old SP1200 is what you're getting in the S2400. It is the same exact sound. It's just better. It sounds crispier. It sounds better. And you can go to ISLA Instruments page and you can look at Brad's YouTube vid where he placed the 2400 and the 1200 side by side and did a sample and sound analysis.
My dog says, so the S2400 is the same exact sound. Yes. Yes, it is. And you can look up on YouTube for side-by-side videos with that raw XP1200 with the S2400. Yo, I'm like this. We're talking about, if everybody, I said this 5 times, I'm going to say this one more time. If you had $4,000, right, and you say, you know what, I want the classic sound of the 90s and the 80s of hip-hop, dance music, whatever. And you're saying, you know what, I can get a Rawsome SP1200, right? And then you'll just get that one drum machine, right? Then you say, I can get an S2400 with the new effects cards, with a case to protect my investment, and a Caladan synthesizer simultaneously for the same price. Come on. Math is not mathing. Davis Lewis Love says, the Caladan also has a Moog card, an Oberheim card, and an analog drum machine card. I'm saying, like, I'm sorry. Listen, if you want to bless me so I can help me get the Rawsome stuff, please hit me up on my Cash App right there. Please bless me with that. Tell us how Akai Force, that'd be awesome. But I'm taking my money to where it has more bang for the buck. And Davis Lewis Love, thank you for posting that. He says the Caladan will also have a Moog card, an Oberheim card, and an analog drum machine card. Why am I paying $4,000 for one? And again, I'm not crapping on the Rawsome SP1200 because if we're over 40, you see the grays? I grew up in New York City, born and raised. Brooklyn is the vibe. That's where I'm from, Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Lanza is from Georgia. It's the Southern and the East Coast mentality, both agreeing on if you want bang for your buck, if you want to sound different than anybody else, put your money where it's more bang for your buck. We are not crapping on Rawsome. We love you, SP1200 and EMU and Rawsome, for what you've done for us. But right now, it's a competitive marketplace. And Brad, for ISLA Instruments, if you're watching this, again, I repeat, because listen, I'm going to capitalize on any opportunity with just knowledge. Thank you for creating the instruments. If you want some content creators for your brand, hit us up. KaiLeafWins@gmail.com. Hit BeatsbyLonza up at BeatsbyLonza@gmail.com. At the end of the day, when we are all sitting in front of our beat machines, Lonza is the multi-drum machine specialist. He has every drum machine. I have an MPC-1, and I have old gears. I got an ASR-10. If you have an ASR-10, put your hand up in the comments. I got an ASR-10. If you want more bang for your buck, then why not invest in ISLA Instruments products? Now, Davis Lewis Love says the Caladan will also be open source, so outside developers will make. Again, why am I spending $4,000 for one beat machine when I can spend $4,000 and get everything off of ISLA Instruments site? I'm saying, put up Montdor's comment. Let me read it. Maybe some are purchasing the Rawsome at that price for the experience and knowing it'll shoot up in resale. Who knows? I like my modern MPC with some outboard gear and other keyboards. Montdog, I totally agree with you, brother. Listen, we all grew up watching Pete Rock on those VHS video clips using the SP1200. We all grew up with Lord Finesse using the SP1200. We all grew up with Easy Moby using the SP2400. But at the end of the day, fam, I'm not spending I think it's economically ridiculous if you can get the same sound at the ISLA Instruments S2400 that you can get out of the Rawsome SP1200. The only thing that's different is how the box looks. And listen, I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm a 47-year-old man that is nostalgic as hell. I grew up in New York City, Brooklyn, New York to be exact. The birthplace of hip-hop is the Bronx, New York. We all wanted an SP1200, but all my homeboys used to rob people for like their gear back in the days. I'm not doing that. He says, are you saying that ISLA sounds better than the ASR? I'm saying that the thump on the kicks of an ASR, the dirtiness of the keys that you just heard is a rival up close. But at the end of the day, what did Lonza say at the beginning of the video? If for all those you guys who have an ASR on this thing, you know what it's like with an ASR. God forbid the key bed shorts out. God forbid I press that button too much in my menu stuff. God forbid I gotta get a new floppy drive. I would rather invest in ISLA Instruments because it's a modern piece of gear that sounds like back in the days. Now, mind you, you're talking to a person I still have an ASR 10. I still have old Gemini samplers because I grew up DJing. Those coils, it's a lot of upkeep. Listen, let's be real. Having a vintage piece of gear is a beautiful thing, but vintage gears like the ASR 10, like I got another piece of vintage gear, they're like extremely attractive women. They're high maintenance. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You gotta send them to get serviced. But with an ISLA instrument, an updated version of a classic, sound-wise, why am I gonna go to eBay and spend thousands of dollars when I can buy an updated classic? The comments is coming in, yo, flick up the comments. We can answer all of them right now. And again, we do not work for ISLA Instruments, but if Brad from ISLA Instruments wants to contact us to be creators for you, great. Send me a Caladan and an S2400. I will love to post videos on that. So somebody says only old stuff I hung on is to my old Akai. That's great. And this isn't an old versus new conversation. This is
adding to your arsenal. This is about if you think about it in the context of having multiple weapons in your arsenal. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. You don't want to have a rifle but you have no grenade launcher and no pistols. You want to be able to have as many weapons in your arsenal to destroy the enemy as fast and efficient as possible. So in this instance, this is why you should have one in your arsenal. It's not saying get rid of something and not have another. It's not saying that you should only have this machine. We're saying to you is why don't you have one in your arsenal? If this machine is this powerful and sounds this good, why don't you have it in your arsenal? If you are a true producer that likes to spread their wings in equipment and sound, you should have one.
The comments, let me give you an example. He talked about weaponries in your arsenal. You know what my weaponries are? My MacBook Air from my DAW and my instruments. You see this? I could bring this anywhere. You know what's another classic vintage device? The Zoom sampler that sounds like the SP2400. This came out in like the late 80s, early 90s. But look at this. A tool in the arsenal. These are tools. I'm not lifting up my ASR 10. You are bugging if you think I'm gonna do that. That's never good. If you ever had an ASR 10, you know how heavy it is. He sidebar says, I feel you. Old tech is hard to maintain. Yes. Kid Cattell says the ISLA does not sound better than the ASR 10, but that's all subjective. The best part of the ASR is the workflow and the sequencer if you know how to use it. You're absolutely right. Here's the thing, Kid Cattell. I'm like this. If you have an ASR 10 like I have an ASR 10, according to your picture, I'm tired of moving a heavy piece of gear. I'm tired of always worrying, even if I maintain it, that something might break, right? I wish that InSonic was in business still, and mind you, that's wishful thinking, so that every time I had an issue with my ASR 10, I can send it off to InSonic, versus me going to these tech places in New York or me shipping it out to a different state and crossing my fingers that it doesn't break on delivery. Do you understand what I'm saying? And somebody can argue, well, it will break on delivery if InSonic was still in business. I just needed updated gear that sounds like it did in the 90s too. Like Lonza said, add to your arsenal. This isn't a conversation about, oh, what's better? It's add to your arsenal. There's some more comments coming out. There's still really cool old gear that you can get really cheap. The EMU rack units. But again, when it the conversation I'm adding to this, I wish that the old EMU still existed, so that we can get updated, like there can be USB slots. There can be, you know what I'm saying, like USB-C. I wish it was updated. And that's why ISLA Instruments gear is a great sell for that for me, because it has an old sound and it's updated. It's the manual transmission of samplers. Yeah, it's called, like I said this in my group that I run, it's called evolution. Nobody's crapping on old gear by anything. We're talking about adding it to your existing arsenal. We are primarily MPC users, sorry. The analog warmth is something special, but what people miss is the sound. We are missing and craving because the stuff was being recorded on real tape. Yeah, great example. Let's use this example really quick. Mont Dog, thank you for that comment. If you have, like I'm gonna make people pissed off, but it's whatever. The new era generation of kids and young producers, their version of the old school samplers we used to use is called FL Studio. If you take a track in the FL Studio and run it through a Akai X950, if you ran it through an ASR 10 rack or even a EPS 16 rack, it will color the sound. Great, awesome. If that's your tool of choice. We're talking about ISLA Instruments is a great addition on your workflow. We're not playing converter talk, because that's literally, I'm not trying to cuss, but that's a waste of time conversation when it comes to people who are saying, yo, I work with artists, I send out beats, or I'm doing sync licensing. I don't have time to like play with menus. I need to get this job done and have fun.
And let's be honest about that. The average listener that listens to music, that plays on Spotify, that plays on Apple Music, that play on any DSP that you listen to music, does not give a shit of what music you made it on, what equipment you made that music on. They don't care. They go ahead.
Dude, let's make this conversation real interesting. Share the link to this stream so people can come up if they want to comment and put it in the comments, and have people come up in the comments and talk about it. Go to share the invite link and put it in the comments. If y'all want to join the conversation, let's talk. I think ISLA Instruments S2400 and the Caladan is the best bang for your buck right now in current vintage gear. Add it to the comments. Whoever wants to come up and talk on that, we can most definitely talk on that while we read up the rest of the comments.
And yeah, we said this earlier that the sampling engines that it has on it has 12-bit and 24-bit, and the freaking 1200, I believe, only has 24-bit.
Yeah. And again, it'd be one thing if everybody's watching two people that don't have the gear. Look at the back of Lonza. I wish your camera was portable, because you can show them that he's the multi-drum machine specialist. He has almost every drum machine, vintage and ever created, and things like, and even new. So this man got like 15 drum machines in the background. 35 pounds. Yes, I don't feel like carrying that. And let me K Keitel, let me give you a good example. Lonze said earlier, we are raving about the ISLA Instruments S2400 because it's a modern classic, right? But it's portable, not portable in terms of standalone. I'm saying I can carry it, I can bring it somewhere. Back in the days, again, if you're of my age, I'm 47 years old, about to be 48. You didn't carry your ASR 10 to a studio. You brought the floppy disk and loaded it up into that studio's ASR 10, right? That's one. Two, God forbid one bad bump on that keyboard. It was a dub and you have to get it fixed. I'll put the last analogy. I'm a DJ, Lonze's a DJ. The brand new controllers that are plasticky, that are like $100 and $200, can get a party rocked, as well as me carrying two 30-pound turntable cases and a 30-pound mixer case, and I'm like almost carrying 100 pounds. What's the goal of DJ gear? To rock the party. If I had a controller, I can rock the same party as I did if I have turntables. Am I super more comfortable on turntables than a controller? Heck yes. But
King Solo says he wants to get on. Go ahead, finish up.
I'm saying the S2400 is a great investment to add to your current workflow because it has the vintage sound at way more of an affordable price, but it's not cheap. And then it's expandability to it. I love the Rossum SP2400. Yes, mixed with old and new. But at the end of the day, if I can spend $4,000 plus tax to get a synthesizer, the S2400, a protective case and things of that nature, to me that's more bang for my buck to add to my workflow than just spending $4,000 plus tax on the SP1200. So go ahead, you can bring them up.
I was gonna say JJ Johnny A says sampler can chop, but the old SP1200 had that small bit rate that gave that one of a kind sound. So you might have missed that, but yeah, do some research on that. You'll be happy to know that you'll be nicely surprised that the 2400 does exact same as the SP1200, but better.
Yeah. Matter of fact, somebody's trying to come up. Great, let's get it.
King Solo wants to come.
You can take the comment down. King Solo, we can't see you, brother.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yo, what's good? Welcome. Yo, them glasses is fire. I see you, King. Oh, let me see that hoodie. You got the train station.
What's up? Yo. From the Chi, man.
From the Chi? Yo,
yeah,
listen, I got family from the Chi. It's all respect, south side of Chicago. Big up all my GD homies and all my Vice Lord homies out there. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out.
Yo, but for real, thanks for having me up. But as you can see, we all got gray. So we from a different era when it comes to this hip hop. And we literally are from the hip hop generation.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
Like the whole thing with an MPC or SP1200 is like none of these things would exist without hip hop in our particular generation. And I'm a retired recording engineer. So I pretty much done work with everything. I'm talking large format consoles, the APIs of the world, the SSLs, the Tascams of the world, everything.
Tascams of the world, Jesus Christ! You took me back to the Tascam Porter. Remember that?
Yo, look, check this out, okay? Right now, okay? Still
That's
to
fire,
this day.
but that's fire. That's the latest one. That is a fire banger for standalone.
I'm still using this with a MPC one. Okay, like that's what I'm saying. I think now where the generation behind us missed out on was actual physical gear that did have a sound to it, and you were trying to,
you know, the vibes.
That part, right? And I got a 1000, so it's like, yo, and I've had a 2500, a 2000 XL, all of these things, but it's like the modern convenience of what the gear offers now just needs to be bodied with a actual sound.
Yes.
We were hooked on, like, you know, like when that 4000 came out, that thing sounded amazing, and we were Havoc was making beats on this, right? Like, so we like losing our mind just over the actual sonics.
Not to cut your wisdom. Let me, before you get up to 4000, I could never afford 4000, and plus I was so comfortable with other gear. Would you please tell these folks and when we grew up in the 90s, stuff like that, when the menus on the 4000 and thing you can do on the 4000, you can't even do on the newer MPCs. Like, there's certain things, like you can a little bit, but the menus, like the features was mind blowing. We went from that Game Boy ass screen to that big fucking Blue Boy screen, and I was like, nigga, what? And the CD burning, the DVD and stuff like that. Come on, fam.
Yo, the 24-bit, that was 24-bit. So we coming from like 16 on the drum machine to straight 24-bit. It was daggone near like 4K sound at the time. The technology leap from going from a 2000 XL to a 4000. But it was one of those things, like with your ASR, you had to be there.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I like that.
You had
to be there. See, but that's what these dudes talking about on the internet. Listen, I'm sorry. You from the Chi. I've lived in the Chi before. Y'all don't understand what these studio sessions be like when that pressure hits and it's time to make something, dump it into whatever you dump it in for finalization, and you got artists pacing around you hearing what you're making. You need to knock shit out, bro. Like, you need to have a mastery of your instrument.
Yes. And that was the thing though with the ASR and the don't body an MPC with an ASR. Don't have them both. Okay, like you was running Starship Galactica at the time, because the ASR has effects in it that I have seen go on to hit records that was mind blowing. And I'm talking about like plugging your guitar into the ASR using a wah pedal on there.
Yep.
Type situation.
Axe Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
That part.
Axe Randy Jackson. Axe DJ Jazzy Jeff. Axe a whole bunch of. See, these people don't know. Again, the grays in our hair and the fact that we still here is a blessing. That's number one. Part. And two, you have to. People of our age cannot hate on the new tools, because the new tools. Bro, can you imagine you and me in the 90s had a laptop? That's crazy. I would have had to steal for one, right? Right? Like, right? You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine both you and I pull up to your house in the Chi. First, before we go to the studio, we got to get hit up the JJ Fish that I miss so much, the catfish nuggets. You heard? You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man. I take you straight to Harold's, you understand?
Hit Harold's, you feel me?
I take you to Harold's.
Wait up in the lobby at Harold's and hope you don't offend nobody behind the window for your food get jammed up, you know what I'm saying? And we had FL Studio. Imagine if we had FL Studio in like 1996. That's why I don't hate on the young boys, because they are using the tools that are get the idea out of my head. Right. Let me print. Let me go.
Listen, I'm not the young kids. If you know what you're doing nowadays, you can go to Mac of all trades, buy you a Mac for $200.
Yep.
And be in the game, like all the way in the game. Like, not only can you make tracks, but you can record whole songs for $200. $200, 1996, nothing. You get nothing. You might be able to get some flyers printed up.
Word.
That's it.
Or peep game. Or you might try to cut a deal with disc makers. Remember old school disc makers?
Yo, we had a print house in the shop that used to do all of the house records. You might be able to go down there and get your stuff printed.
Don't start me on that conversation.
Okay.
I be getting at dudes trying to understand the power of Chicago house production, fam.
They don't
know.
They don't get. They don't know about. That's what I'm saying. We took a 303,
yep.
Okay, and made a whole genre of music based on one piece of gear almost. So I think the gear talk, right? Because I've seen it over the years, and I watched the computers come in and basically phase recording engineers almost out of the game completely. You know what I'm saying? The gear talk has got to be like a generational thing.
Yeah.
Like, folks got to understand what came before them, how people were using it, and how moving towards this future, because I'm with you. I love the future. I think us older cats, we just got to get with it. Like, and understand, like the brother next to you said, yeah, we like pulling our hair out about making beats and how they sound and all that. And listen, but somebody just listening to it on some earbuds. Like,
I can't pull my hair too far because my hairline taking a trip backwards. You heard? My hairline taking a trip backwards.
The only thing that you get the message, you start mulling over this stuff, and it's getting like it'll actually stop you from creating.
Yes.
When you have all of these things and you worried about what's going to happen on the other end, and sometimes it's too much, and we getting too deep into what a piece of gear can do, and not talking about like actually making
beats,
good hip hop.
Yeah, like for instance, Lonza and I asked Lonza to come on a private video stream because I have a 20-year-old friend who's a big Twitch gamer. Like, she's sponsored by Twitch, and she bought FL Studio. She bought the keyboard. She bought everything. As a matter of fact, she didn't. She got it sponsored by Image Line, and they gave it to her because she's a huge gamer. Now, she's like in her mid-20s. Me and Lonza are like knocking on 50, like we knocking on 50. But when we had the screen shared and we were showing her, and then she was showing us stuff, it's like, how do you do this? How do you do that? Me and Lonza was sitting there. It was like, yo, remember back in the days when you'd have to hook up your EMU racks to the MPC, and remember the headache of the wires? Remember if you had your MIDI in and MIDI out messed up? And I'm like, bro, I'm learning FL Studio on the trial version because for the trial version you can export your stems. I'm saying to myself, bro, I hate wires. If you are old school, I hate wires. Try to come to a studio session with your MPC and you only have the power cord, but you don't have no MIDI cables. Talk about it.
Come on, yo, that's what I'm saying. I was an intern. All right. One of my whole jobs was just running a patch bay. That was it. You sit there in front of the patch bay, and your only job is to take this reverb out and plug this one in, or take this compressor out. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't know about inserts. They don't know about actually having to have a rack of compressors. Right? You can't just pull one up.
Yeah.
Like, they have no idea about any of this. We do. So to be honest with you, we should be way ahead of the game because they don't have to do any routing at all. None.
And the thing is, the routing is right click. It's a beautiful blessing. That's why I don't understand older producers who are trying to downplay younger producers. And what Blizz says, Koala Sampler plus AUM is a cheat code. For those who don't know, Koala Sampler and AUM are iPhone apps or Mac apps or maps you can have on your iPhone or your iPad. AUM is like a rack, a patch bay, where you can put like the DAW in the top, and then you can put insert effects for every app, music app. And you can run multiple apps depending on your processing power, what type of iPad you have, and you can have a full studio. Koala Sampler is an SP404, or for people that are our age, it is the equivalent of having an ASR 10, because you can pitch sounds, you can take the stems out of sounds and then run it into AUM. Let me tell everybody the best investment I made. You see this? This right here is the iRigs IO. This is a keyboard specifically made for your iPad, so you can run all the sounds out of your iPad. This is a full studio when I'm traveling. It's got the drum pads. I can hook up my iPad. It's got MIDI. Bro, I can hook up an iPad and I have like 70 synth apps. I got Beatmaker 3. I got Koala. Then you can go to Cubasis as your printing doll and print the tracks, and then you can export. Bro, if you're an older person like us that are in our 40s, now he's saying older, at the end of the day, if you play your tracks in a speaker and you have a client, or you're working with a sync license agent, or you're working with a video game developer, what is the end goal? I need to get my music from my brain into whatever device, and I need to put it out and put it out there. Masada says, I'm looking forward to the add-on card for the S2400. Yes. And let me ask you a question, brother. Number one, can you tell me what are the, from your experience and your expertise and your acumen, what do you see as some great informational knowledge for people from our generation needs to come to grips with for this current era of production in the gear? That's a loaded question. That's a loaded question.
Don't let the gear portion of it trip you up. Don't get caught up in, because I used to work for some of these equipment companies too, and some of this stuff they're just trying to actually sell you gear. They don't care, right? They just want to sell a piece of gear. They'll make the same thing over and over again and just have it do small different things here and there to sell you a piece of gear.
It's a business, and I can't hate on a hustler. Can't hate on a hustler.
It's a business. So understand that portion first. Next, like you brothers were saying, it's weapon of choice.
Yes.
Everybody, I may be the best guy with a hammer and still have a knife on my side, still carry a bow. It's all about weapon of choice and workflow. Because now, if we're talking about sound quality, you can't delineate anymore. The computers have made it where sound quality almost doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Real quick example for those who don't believe, I call it the elitist mentality. Has anybody seen the cartoon Happy Feet? Remember when that penguin went up and the old penguin was like, "This is not like the old ways," and Happy Feet was like, "I'm a dance fan." Let me give you an example. If you don't believe that new software can mimic or get super close to an ASR 10 or SP1200, number one, use Decimator. That's a great plugin, a bit reduction plugin. Number two, Baby Audio Plugins has a VHS tape sound emulator. Number three, Air Flavor Pro from Akai. Number four, RC20. Number five, there's a company called iPhonics that has an SP1200 app and an S950 app. If you ran something, for those who don't know, a VST plugin effects chain in your channel, and you know how to tweak the settings and line up all these emulation apps in the channel, you can mix it. Another great program, Decap Knock, DECAP Knock as a plugin. The Saturator, another plugin. Output Sounds, the company that has something called Thermal for saturation and distortion. I can go on and give you 12 new plugins that if you put it in your effects rack chain, my weapon of choice is Ableton because I'm Ableton gang all day, but I'm learning FL. If you take your drums and you run them through a saturator, know how to handle your compressor, know what type of settings to put on it. Ableton has something called glue compressor. If you know your settings, you can emulate the sound. Here's a cheat code. You want to hear a cheat code for all the people in our age? If you have a dial, whether it's Cubase, FL Studio, whatever you use to print your MPC stuff for your old school stuff, go to ChatGPT and type out, I want to mimic the sound of the SP1200 and using the native plugins in the effects chain of my DAW, right? And I want to mimic the sound. They will show you how to route your sounds per channel to emulate that or come close. And listen, here's the awesome cheat code, because he said it earlier with the Tascam. If you really want to emulate sound, go get a dual cassette recorder. Yes, I said it, because I used to do it back in the days. I used to have 2 dual cassette recorders. Guess what I used to do? I used to take my MPC 2000 back in the days. I would record my drums. Then I would do what? Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Remember that word? Overdub. I would record it on each cassette repeatedly to create distortion. And that's how you distort your tracks. Again, this conversation is not about old versus new. Like the young man said, and everybody said in the stream, it's about weapon of choice. Number two, ISLA Instruments have some great gear if you want to add to your weaponry. And number 3, ain't nothing wrong with old gear or new gear, but are you creating tracks with it? And I didn't want to go to this conversation. Me and Lonza, they talk about this all the time. To everybody watching the stream right now, if you're over the age of 40 and you're a producer, guess what's happening right now? We're going through an adult contemporary hip-hop renaissance. What do I mean by that? If you don't believe me, type in LL Cool J and look at all the videos LL Cool J is talking about. LL Cool J says, I'm making music for me and for people in the new generation, but the old generation, because I can still make music. Producers that are watching this, how many beats are you sitting on in your hard drive? How many beats are you sitting on in your laptop or your drum machine? Release some beat tapes. Right now, we're in an era where 40-year-old plus producers can actually make a living. How do I believe that? Look at what Primo's doing right now. And here goes the complainers. Oh my God, but Primo's been doing it for years. Bro, there is a fan base of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that grew up on hip-hop. If you're a producer watching this, why aren't you fucking releasing your beats? Sorry, Lonzy, I'm from New York. The cuss went out.
Listen, man, listen. I want everybody from my era to keep creating for me.
Yes.
Because the folks behind us don't know how to make hip-hop for me. Right? You don't know about skipping school to go get low end theory.
You don't
know nothing about like skipping school to go get 36 chambers and be on the bus with it in the tape deck, like missing your stop because you rewinding and you like, what he say? And they don't have the culture just is not the same.
They don't know what it's like taping your TDK 90-minute tapes with tape so you can overdub. They don't know about that.
They don't know about staying up to 12 o'clock to hear hip hop.
Word.
On a Friday night, you don't know nothing about staying up to 12 o'clock, past 10 o'clock when slow jams went off to hear hip hop at 12. So to them, it's always on.
And they don't know nothing about buying a new pack of floppies and being happy because you don't know his sampler.
Yo, they don't know nothing about buying a stack of CDs for almost $100.
Bro.
And having a burn.
This. Look, they don't know nothing about this. They don't know nothing about this.
They don't know nothing about that.
They don't know about this.
Just like now, you brought up all of those emulations, right? Earlier. And I'm gonna throw 2 pieces of gear out there. One is a piece of software. So if you go to Reason's YouTube page, a guy created a filter set that you can download that sounds just like the ASR.
What?
And just like the SP1200.
Hey, but it's only for Reason?
It's only for Reason. That's one alternative. Your other alternative is a thing called the Electron Analog Heat.
Yes, analog heat and analog heat effects. Yo, he brought back the throwback, the boombox. They don't know about walking. Listen, back in the days in New York and especially in Chicago, if you had a boombox, you better have hand skills because niggas would try to yap you for your shit. Pardon me.
You was the man.
I'm trying not to cuss. I'm from New York. Sorry. Pardon my.
And look, my man literally just pulled out a recording studio right there.
Yeah.
Everything. Remember, you take your boombox. If you had a mic input. And you had another input on the jack.
You take your headphone jack and put it on. They don't know about that, fam.
Let's go. I'm finna make a whole mixtape right now.
Remember that? We would take this and go like this.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. Your headphones is a speaker.
Look at the Maxwell
tape. That tape saturation right there. Yep, even if you, let's just say you make it on FL Studio, whatever you make it on. You slam that tape hard as you can to get saturation. And that's what I mean. The difference between us and them was actually accidentally leaving a plug out and discovering filter. So a lot of this stuff that they just are putting into software is an accident of hip hop trying to create something from something it was never supposed to do in the first place.
The SP1200 originally was a dance, techno music, or house music based machine. It was not a hip hop machine. The TR-808, not a hip hop machine.
You was not supposed to be making loops on a MPC. You were not supposed to do that. You were not supposed to be micro chopping and doing all of this stuff. You were not supposed to do this stuff. And this whole stems revolution, do you, like you said, in 96, do you know if I could listen to Only a Schoolboy Crush and take nothing but the bass line from it, what would have happened?
Listen, brother, don't even get up that conversation. There is a song Def Jam, I don't know who their engineers was. Or was they Def Jam? No, there was another label. But I want everybody watching this. If you want to talk about using old equipment to make plush sounds, when you get a chance, go to your streaming service, type in Houdini One Love. I'll give you an example. And I can't play on the stream because, you know, you don't want YouTube to hate. One Love's drums, the way that they hit, that bass line, boom, 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 boom. That synth, it was perfectly sitting in the mix on vintage gear. Think about that for a second. It's not about, listen, and I'm not trying to be nasty, pardon me, Lonzy. I'm trying to keep my New York energy off your channel. It's your channel. I'm going to respect it because New York dudes are raunchy. It's like this, fam. If you're trying to knock a girl's Mario coins out of her body, right? You know what I'm saying? Bro, you better get to work. If you're a producer and you are working with artists, let's say you're trying to blow up and be like us, a adult contemporary hip hop producer, and you say, you know what, I'm gonna make a name for myself. I'm King Solo, I'm from Chicago, I'm gonna just make a whole community for myself. Or I'm BeatsbyLonza, I'm in Georgia, or I'm Kyle Twins, I'm in New York, and we wanna talk to people our age, guess what we have to do? Create the beat, be as efficient as possible, and knock out our work and finish it. If you wanna saturate, like King Solo says, that, mind you, King Solo, I'm going to look into Reason now. You done messed up. I'm about to do the 30-day trial on Reason to see what you're talking about. You know what
I'm telling you. Yeah, Reason, not to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
But for me, Reason was the next best thing to actually having rap gear in my...
Because it looked like it.
Right. And the from actually being an engineer, and I understand patching, the way that they allow you to patch in that... Yo, it will drive... it will drive you insane. The things you can do.
That's why Battlecat uses it to this day.
Yo, I'm telling you, your mind start clicking in a certain kind of way. That's what I like about the new gear, right? When we talk about old versus new sound, all that. The new stuff allows your mind to click in a certain way. Kind of like when the MPC only had 30 seconds of sampling time. It's like, I can only do this. I can only do that. But the new gear allows me to be like, okay, well, what if I take a delay and plug it into a wah pedal and plug that and then resample that and then chop that down? What'll happen then? And you get to actually do it and not just be like, oh, well, I got to call my homeboy and see if he got a wah pedal, or I'm going to go to this studio because they got these compressors. And now, all the experimentation that you've ever wanted, you can
right
do.
Your fingertips.
It's right under your fingertips. That's the beauty. I think that's where we, in our generation, because I'm 44, right? That's where we need to see.
We Generation X, you heard? We Generation X, you heard?
That part. That's what I'm saying. We have all of the experience, but we're blocking the new techniques. So we're not taking our experience and applying these new techniques, right? And still making dope hip hop, because that's really all I want. That's all I want.
But you said new techniques. You know what I compared to? I don't know about in Chicago in the 90s. I know in New York, we all watched the Shaw Brothers karate flicks, right? Remember back in the days? The karate flick. And what was the main premise of every karate flick? Oh, you have this style. Let me learn this Kung Fu style. Let me learn this Wu-Tang style. Let me learn this Shaolin style. Let me learn this. But when it comes to production, somebody said, Johnny says, wish I was in the 40s. Listen, no, you don't. Not the way I wake up in the morning. Stay your age. Be happy and young. Not the way my body feels in the morning. I slapbox some of my younger cousins, and they got too much stamina for me. I'm like, bro, I don't know. I like physically doing stuff. But getting back to that whole karate analogy, if older producers and younger producers looked at this like attaining and adding to your style, this is why I like the S2400. It's adding to our existing style, and adding to our like King Soul weapon of choice. But why don't producers look at production as a skill and a craft to add to their style? Like, for instance, I never thought about Reason. He just brought up Reason. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to download the trial of Reason, because Reason does remind me of going to a studio, because I couldn't afford those racks. All my friends was like, Jook boy.
I'm telling you, man, I think, too, it's us as producers and as creators too busy trying to compete with each other and not like art is not for us. We make it, right? We give the art to the people and we let them decide. But we're also trying to kind of impress each other. And if you
That don't pay
get
the
too,
bills. That don't pay the
I
bills.
know, but if you get too, but you know how it is. We get together, we'll talk about gear for 3 days, off, sit with a bottle and talk about gear forever. But we're not actually we're not doing anything together. Like we're not actually making any music together or nothing. We're just sitting and talk about gear.
And
So
that's
we'll
the thing
sit.
that country has over us. That's the thing that EDM has over us, and that's the thing that different genres have over us. Oh, what happened to his phone? Dang.
So if King Solo can come back, appreciate you for coming through and chopping it up with us, and he brought in a great point about working together, where we'll probably come in right now and talk about how we've instituted working together in our circle of friends and producers.
Is that kitchen clean and stuff?
He's still up.
All
He's
right,
just in the
go
background.
ahead.
But yeah, Khalif has put together sort of a team of X-Men. I call him Professor X, and we got together with producers who are within our age group, and we've decided to set the standard, to be the leaders in this, to where we're showing people that, and not just people that are younger than us. We're trying to show producers that are our age and that have all this experience, that we can come together and create and build from one idea to come up to a conglomerate to make it happen. So you should this is what I need you to do. If you hadn't done so already, you need to check out Khalif Wynn's page. He has it right there in the back of his screen. It says youtube.com Khalif Wins NYC. Check out also my page, BeatsbyLonza.com.
Subscribe. Like and share this video.
Comment. Like, we also have Civil Days Music, Dayson Civil. Check out his page.
DC Carson Music. Check out his page.
And you'll see we have put together a great team that we're all collectively doing something, but also individually we're all our own bosses, and we're doing shit to let people know that, hey, you don't age out in hip hop. We still around. So every producer, this is a Beats by Lonza ism. Every producer, if you're a real producer, you should have an Isla S2400 in your arsenal. Fact. That's just coming from me. And
oh, what's going on with your screen? Oh, your screen is hating on you. Jeez. Akai, you back? I see you moving. Right now. All right, cool, you cool. But yeah, like he was saying, while he gets his stuff set up, the ISLA Instruments S2400 is a great investment. I came on there and asked him about it. When I heard the beats, I saw the workflow. I'm sold. When I saw the Caladan, or however it's pronounced, I'm sold on that. It's $4,000 for everything on their site. It's better as a bang for your buck versus the other alternatives. Golden Engineer says, Lonza, thoughts on the profits on streaming? That's another we can get into that conversation.
Yeah, well, quickly, I'll tell you my thoughts on the streaming platform is that they suck. It is another way for the recording industry to screw artists and producers and people of that such. Here's where you got to think bigger than the streaming platforms.
I want to jump in on this.
Out the middleman. Cut out the middleman. Sell directly to your consumer. Find out who your target audience is, and that's how you beat the streaming platforms, and how you bring the profit and build that generational wealth back to you as an artist and as a producer. So cut out the middleman. There's things out there such as Bandcamp. You can have your own website. You can do everything that's at your fingertips. You can figure out how to cut out the middleman. So cut out the middleman so you don't get screwed by the middleman, and bring those profits directly back to you.
Now, again, yes, I'm a producer. Yes, I'm a YouTube channel owner, but I'm a full-time content creator, and I'm a social media manager by trade. And the thing that's cool about being in my 40s and being a social media manager, that I know and I have talked to and I've consulted people that earn $20,000 a month on the internet, you know what I'm saying, things of that nature. It's real simple for all producers. Number one, if you really want to put yourself out there, think this way. And I had this conversation with Lonza. Ask yourself, okay, how many beats do I have in my hard drive? Let's say you have 100 beats in your hard drive. Great. Now I'm giving you some social media game. You're going to need social media to build your community. Stop being allergic to it. That's step one. Step two, if you have 100 beats just laying around in your hard drive, laying around in your drum machine, this is what you do for the next 6 months. You take 10 of those 10 tracks, create a beat tape, right? Then you create new social media pages for your production brand because you are a store. And like Lonza said, you start a Bandcamp page. That's your store. That's step two. Then to step three, you create these social media pages to say that you're a producer and you're a service and you have these skills. You release 10 beat tapes at 10 tracks per beat tapes, only for the individuals that got 100 beats laying around in their hard drive, right? And then you create a strategy, and you can actually contact me, hit me up for consultations in my link in bio. I'll show you how to formulate a social media strategy, but I'll give you one for free right now. You have 6 months. Mathematically, 6 months is what? 6 months is 24 weeks. That's half a year. If you got 100 beats laying around in your hard drive that you like, oh, I think they're whack. Oh, I think that they're, no, they're not whack. You don't know if something is whack. The market has to decide. Let me give you a quick gem. A lot of times we make beats that are 4-bar loops and like, oh, that's all right, that's cool. But we let a friend hear it in the car, they'd be like, oh my God, this is fire. It's the same thing. Look at Lonza's beat tape. He has a beat tape library. He has his own community. He released his tracks. Every producer needs a Bandcamp page, bandcamp.com. You can upload your beats with your beat tape and you can sell direct to your customer. Stop worrying about, oh, I need this many streams to make a living. Let's do some math right now. The average beat tape on Bandcamp is $15. When you sell a product on Bandcamp, Bandcamp takes their percentage slice, and that's $11 to $12 that you get profit. If you got 100 beats laying around, you can release 10 beat tapes at $15 per 10-track beat tape, and then you can just use it to market your brand. Now, somebody's saying, everybody got beat tapes, it's oversaturated. Your style and your personality is not oversaturated. I repeat, your style and your strategy is not oversaturated. Thanks, Masada. Let's take Masada. Before Masada ever existed on the internet, Masada had an idea. You know what? Let me come out with the cycle kit. Then he created MPC expansions. Everybody invest in Masada's MPC expansions. But before he had a platform, Masada is flying around and traveling. Why? Because he utilized social media to show his gift. How many producers are sitting on 100 beats that they think are just okay? They're not mixed and mastered right. I don't think nobody will like it. Put out your beat tapes and put them for sale and start building your community. Second gem, how do you build a community? Number one, start a YouTube channel. Number two, start a TikTok channel. I don't care what your opinion is on TikTok. Number three, start an Instagram page and then start a Facebook business page. That's 4 pages you can start with, right? Set a schedule. I have my beat production schedule when I create the product. Act like you're a chef. I'm creating my cupcakes or creating my meals. I'm posting videos of my meals and me making my meals, and I'm putting my link in bio to purchase these products. Listen, I'm a social media manager by trade. Again, if you want to invest in a specific strategized, you know what I'm saying, method, hit me in my link in bio. I do consultations. You make an investment that are investing in your life. Again, people on these apps, especially producers, especially people that are selling beat tapes, are clearing thousands of dollars a month because they built their community. Not because a magic trick happened, not because they posted one beat tape. And here's one thing, last thing I'll say. It only takes one of your beats to go viral on TikTok when you set up your stuff right for you to lift up your whole catalog. Lonza, tell them the story about what you did with TikTok when you start releasing your beat tapes after we spoke in our conversation.
So yeah, I had a single that I released on Bandcamp that was doing okay, but I said, you know what, I think that it needs to get a different eye and a different look on the single that I released. So I did a video on TikTok of the song that's called Slide. It's by BeatsbyLonza, featuring VZ and featuring Heaven and Guada. Put it on TikTok, and we probably got, it's probably at 1,000 some views right now. And what happened was I only released that on TikTok, and within the 24 hours of releasing it on TikTok, those people went straight to my Spotify and streamed the song. And when I got my numbers back for the audit that says how my Spotify is doing, it directed exactly the numbers of people that was watching it on TikTok.
And this is what I'm saying. So everybody, if you are a producer, most producers have 100 drafts of beats laying around. 100. Take 10 tracks, that's a beat tape. That's 10 beat tapes. 10 times 10 is 100. It only takes one of your beats to go viral. So answering the streaming question, I'll answer this. Streaming is the bait. We'll stream these singles, cool, we'll stream them. That gets the attention and you can make money off of that. But when it comes to your full beat tapes, sell them on Bandcamp. Direct to sell. And here's the thing about Bandcamp.com. Anytime somebody makes a purchase, you get your customers what? Again, I'm doing a free consultation. Listen, if y'all need a consultation and y'all want a custom strategy, go to my link in bio, make the investment so that you can really set up your business. Because there's a lot of, listen, I told this story to Lonza earlier. I have a production friend that died 10 years ago. He died, and he was a big producer. He had over 1,000 beats in his hard drive. How do I know? He did gospel music, so he worked with like orchestrations, bands. When he died, his wife threw away his desktop of all his hard work. And he used to always complain about money this, money that, money this. But I was like, bro, and I told him 10 years ago, why don't you just release beat tapes? Oh, I can't find an artist. Why don't you release a beat tape? Oh, those beats are whack. Why don't you release a beat tape? Oh, nobody's gonna like it. You don't know who's gonna like what unless you put it out. Fam, I'm sorry to go hard like this, but nothing is worse than going to your friend's funeral that's a producer and he lost all his beats because nobody saw the value. That's a great piece of gear as well. Whatever piece of gear you use it, but make beats fun. Like Infinity Link says, put out your beat tapes. Why are you sitting on all those beats? Now, again, if you want a one-on-one conversation with me, hit me in my link in bio on my YouTube channel. Most definitely, I will sit you through 2 hours of custom strategy for what you need. But getting back to the topic, stop sitting on your beats.
Do the work.
And here's the thing. You listen to the story about Havoc from Shook One's Part 2. Do me a favor, go to YouTube one day and just look up Havoc's story on Shook One's Part 2. He thought the beat was just okay, and his friends had to tell him, no, that beat is fire. That's a problem all of us producers have. And I had talked about this with Lonza earlier this morning. I've been focusing on MPC sequences. What do I mean? And right, Masada said you have to believe in yourself. But in order to create self-belief, what does that have to do? Put your stuff out. Put your stuff out. That's self-belief. Action is self-belief. Action. Action. Let me say this. Havoc almost threw away the Shook One's Part 2 beat that is the most classic New York iconic hip-hop song. Greatest street song of all time in New York. That is a fact in New York, and you can quote me on that. He put out his music. Stop sitting on music that can change your life. I'll say this last thing. I'll let Lonza go. This is his channel, not mine. I'll say this. Just imagine all the producers watching this. You're saying, damn, I want to buy this new piece of gear. Damn, I want to buy, this is too expensive. Do you realize that one of your beats or one of your beat tapes can sell so much money that you can literally buy every piece of gear you dreamed on? I repeat, don't believe me, find out. If you sell 10 beat tapes at $15, that's a profit. But just imagine, one of the beats on that beat tape goes viral when you put it on the streaming platform. That directs traffic to your sales. And I'll make this mathematically sound for people that think that I'm doing wishful thinking. There are people, don't believe me, go to patreon.com when you get a chance. What is Again, I'm doing consultation stuff. Sorry, but I'm going to say this last thing. Patreon.com is a monthly subscription site for podcasts and different businesses. There are when you go to patreon.com, look up this channel called El Chapo's Trap House. Dumb dudes clear tens of thousands of dollars a month, meaning that they have $5 subscribers that pay them $20,000+ a month. Matter of fact, you don't believe me. Let me share no, I'm not doing a consultation right now. Listen, if y'all need a consultation for some game on how to make money on this internet, I'm a social media manager. Hit me up in the link in bio of my YouTube page. Schedule a consultation and invest in making money with the internet. Because here's the thing to people in our 40s. Y'all missing out on this internet money. And yeah, this conversation was about S2400, but my concern is with the producers watching this. Are you sitting on 100 beats that can literally buy you a house? Are you sitting on 100 beats that can literally change your life? Stop sitting on your beats. Put out your beat tapes. Masada would not be a business if he did not put out his cycle kits. Masada's about to come out with an album. And Masada, listen, brother, come and interview on my channel. I've been fiending to interview you. Stop capping. Talk about I don't want to see myself on you, Batman, Masada. Come to my channel. Let me interview you right quick. You feel me? Listen, invest in your future. God gave you that production gift and passion for a reason. And don't say, I'm a hobbyist. Listen, if you got 100 beats laying around, Those are 10 beat tapes that you can sell for $15 per on Bandcamp.com. Johnny says, I can make 10 songs in under 3 hours. Great, Johnny. Guess what? That's a bag. So getting back to S2400, if you like S2400 and you want to get all that, that's $4,000. But let's say this. I'm going to tell this, and I'm going to shut up, Lonza. Because, listen, I'm super passionate about that. Because, again, I repeat, when I had to go to 2 friends' funerals that were producers and they never put their music out, do you understand how miserable that funeral service felt? That they never achieved their dreams, that they never put out their gift because they were too afraid, that they overthought every step. Stop overthinking. Put out your beats, fam. And here's the last thing for people in our age group or other producers watching this. Here's the kicker. You know what? When one of your tracks get viral, when you start selling, all the people that said you too old to come out and be a producer, you get to rub it in their freaking face. You heard? I don't know how much motivation I'm going to give y'all. You ain't got to be the best producer. And for the people that say, oh, new hip-hop is whack. Great. Put out your hip-hop if it's that whack. And again, sorry. I don't want to get too much into social media because I'm a social media manager. But if y'all really want to invest in a consultation with me personally so I can create a custom strategy for your brand and I do social media management, hit up my link in bio in my YouTube page and go set up a consultation because we don't have time to waste. People die every day. Are you sitting on beats or are you trying to make money off your beats and use these social media streets? I'm sorry, Alonzo. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's all good. Also, if you do go out and buy the Isla S2400, shoot Brad over there a message and tell him that BeatsbyLonza and Khalif sent you over there.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yeah, and Brad, we like the S2400. He got one. I would love one. Send it over to me. I'll make content for it. Listen, you have to really take charge of your gift and your passion, everybody watching this. You were not given that dream to make beats for it to sit in your hard drive. I'm sorry I'm stressing this, but I had 2 friends die that were better producers than me. We all got friends that are fire producers, but what's their excuse? Oh, I can't because I'm too busy. Oh, I can't because I'm too old. Shut your mouth and put out your product. I'm sorry. I gotta be aggressive. I'm from New York. We naturally aggressive. I'm gonna keep it real with y'all. If you think if you agree with what I said, put the fire emoji in the chat. If you agree with what I'm saying about using your dreams, put the fire emoji in the chat. So right now,
again, we got a couple of comments in the section. I'm trying to put the YouTube links in the chat so people can see where our pages are. But yeah, if you haven't already done so,
it's not a .com, but
oh shit,
yeah. Look at you, cuss it on your own channel.
And I can't edit it. I can delete the comment. Listen,
everybody type in Khalif Wins YouTube, you'll see me. But thank you. Listen, Masada. Listen, Masada started off with a dream. Imagine if Masada would have said, no, nobody's going to like my Psycho Kid. Masada's helped so many producers. And guess I'm going to speak into existence. I'm going to have an interview with Masada, and we're going to get Batman out the cave for a little bit. You feel what I'm saying? Because Masada got fire. So 100 is another great producer. We got to get out the Bat cave. You feel what I'm saying? Like Johnny says, I got into music for one reason, women.
Oh, my God.
Johnny, let's use this analogy here. If you were scared to talk to the opposite sex and try to get somebody's phone number, you would never have physical fun. I'm going to say it there because we're on YouTube. So if you shot your shot at women, why aren't you shooting your shot with your production dreams? Here's an idea. Everybody follow me. I'm sorry, Lonzy. I'm not going to social media strategy mode, but whatever. I'm a social media strategist by nature. You can tell I'm passionate about this. Take the next 24 months of your life and bust your ass. 24 months is what? I'm big on math. It's 2 years. A year is 12 months. There are 52 weeks a year. Take the next 104 weeks of your life and say, you know what? I'm going to create my production pages, and on Saturday, I'm going to make a whole bunch of videos, and I'm going to have them post 5 days a week to direct them to my link in bio. And sell your beat tape. I guarantee you, if you did that for 2 years straight, you will be sitting on cash. And if you don't believe me, if you think that I'm just talking greasy, go to patreon.com and type in podcast and see how much money they make a month. If you don't believe me, go to Bandcamp and type in beat tape, and when you go to a producer on Bandcamp, you'll see all their followers. People are making a full-time living being a producer, and they don't have to be famous. Stop sitting on your dreams. Take the next 104 weeks and say, you know what? I'm tired of sitting on my beats. I'm tired of just, you know, I should be making music off my gift. And put out beat tapes. Just put out your gift. You'll never lose. You'll never lose. He says that link is not available. What link are you talking to?
Yeah, if you're talking about the YouTube, there's no .com on the YouTube. It's Khalif Wins NYC.
Just type in Khalif Wins in YouTube and go to my page. I'm actually going to hit him with some other info on my page. Hold on, Khalif Wins, or type in Khalif Wins and I'm gonna send you a link right quick in a private chat.
Gotcha.
So everybody in the chat, at the end of the day, it's all about getting your strategy and being effective and doing what you got to do. All right, I put the link in the private chat so you can check it out and you can copy and paste it. That's the link if you want to invest in a consultation with your boy. You know what I'm saying? And you really want to set your joint off for like the next 2 years and say, I'm tired of sitting on my beats. Lonzy's going to copy and paste the link directly into it. Hit up a link, get a consultation, let's get it cracking. Everybody ain't the richest, but if you got 100 beats in your hard drive, you should be able to sell them, because every beat is a product for sale. Every beat is an opportunity for a sync license agent to say, hey, I want this in this TV show. This would be great for this commercial. Every beat is your resume. I'm sorry, Lonzy, last thing. I always been saying the last thing 5 times. Here's something, producers. Every track is your resume. For instance, if you take the next year and say, you know what, I'm just gonna put out beat tapes and products. If you bump into somebody at a barbecue, if you bump into somebody at a picnic, if you're networking and somebody says, wow, you're a producer, let me hear your work. You can not only send them a stream link to your streaming content, you can send them a link to your Bandcamp page, you can send them a link to your YouTube, and you can show them your resume. Last I checked, in order to get a job, to get money, what you need? A resume. Start building your resume now. I'm going to shut up, Lonzy. Again, if y'all need a consultation, use the link that he put up in the whatchamacallit, hit me up. But listen, I don't want any producer to die with their dream in their hard drive. I repeat, do not die with your dream in your hard drive. If you were given a passion and a gift, it is meant for you to put that product out and make money off of it. Producers should not be starving. You know why? We are the creators. Producers, we are the creators. You know what I'm saying? We the creators. If it wasn't for producers, artists would have nothing to rap over, right? Am I right? If it wasn't for producers, the music in the back of movies wouldn't happen, right? If it wasn't for producers, there'd be no music for background commercials, right? If it wasn't for producers, there'd be no music and cartoons for our kids, right? So why are you sitting on your beats? Put your beats out, stop playing games, make it happen. Listen, if you want to really get the social game up, hit me in my link in bio and schedule. Hit the link and whatchamacallit in the stream. Schedule your next consultation. So big shout out to Masada, big shout out to King Solo from the Shy, big shout out to everybody. Lonzy, I'm sorry for going ham, but I'm passionate about this.
It's all good. It's all good. Shout out to DC and shout out to Dayson. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe to the page. Make sure y'all check out the videos, and make sure do 1 or 2 things. Leave a comment, and if there's anything on the videos that you'd like to see that we are not providing in the videos, leave a comment or shoot a DM and let us know that that's some information that you'd like to see, and we'll come back and either get an answer to your question or come out with some content that you would enjoy. So y'all have a great.
Let's network too.
Y'all have a great weekend. Y'all follow the other people that's in the chat, and y'all make sure you follow the people that's on the stream. Hey, we got Masada MPC, who is the inventor of the Lazy Chop. If you have an MPC and you use Lazy Chop, Masada is the inventor of the Lazy Chop. So give that man some props for what he's done for the MPC community. Give him some props for what he did in the community and what he's doing for the community. And there is an MPC family group on Facebook. You can join the MPC family on Facebook. You just have to answer the freaking questions. That's a lot of problems that I'm seeing on the freaking on the forums. Y'all don't want to answer the question. Answer the questions, and come to a community that is trying to get like-minded producers together to do great things and provide great content to the world. And if that's all we got, we are out of here.
Before we out of here, though, thank you to every producer that's in the chat.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody that commented. Big shout out to King Solo. Big shout out to Masada. Big shout out to Civil Days Music. Big shout out to BeatsbyLonza. Big shout out to DC Carson Music. Big shout out to Johnny in the chat. Everybody in the chat. Golden Engineer. Thank you for the stream, everybody. Before I get off, I'm going to say this. You were not given that dream of being a producer for you to sit on it. Put your music out and stop playing games. That's the last thing I'll say.
Yes, sir. Get to work, because we getting it. Peace.